Now we will get into the specifics of price action analysis, technical analysis, and we will look deeper into a price chart and try to understand what is going on here. And we have different tools and concepts that we can use. And in the first lesson, we will start out with the basics of support and resistance trading. And we will look at what support and resistance levels and zones are and how they can help us to make sense of charts and then later to improve the way we trade the markets. So support and resistance areas, they are usually the very important turning points at your charts where price has shown a very clear reaction, and we can use that knowledge then in the future to time our trades. So let us just mark a few horizontal support and resistance areas, and then it will become clear what this actually is. So when you're just starting out, I suggest you grab the line tool here, horizontal line tool, and support and resistance areas are horizontal areas on your charts. And you can see, just look at the major swing points in your charts, swing lows, swing lows, swing highs, swing highs. And then you can often see that they fall in the same area. So we can see there is probably something here in this area. So let us just drop our chart or our line here, and let's zoom out a little bit here with this line graph, and you can see that here is some type of resistance. Price moved into it. Here we came a little bit short, so maybe we need another resistance area just below that. And that is a first good lesson that rarely we have just single lines as support and resistance, but more often than not we have zones where we have multiple support and resistance areas on top of each other, like we do here. And then we can explain price in a much better way. So you can see we have this swing high here. Here the first time we move back into the area, we see another reaction, we move back into the area, now we see an earlier reaction. Here again, this time we see a very similar reaction at this price point. We sell off again, we move back into the area, this time we overshoot it. This is what we call a trap pattern or a squeeze, which is a very important pattern that we will learn in our pro membership course. That is one pattern that we trade, and I will explain you the ins and outs and everything that you need to know later. And then after price overshot this level, we come back into this, and again we find new sellers, price sells off from it. So you can see this is what we call a resistance area, where price moves into a line from underneath. It finds new selling interest, people get interested in selling again. We don't have enough power to break above the level, and then we fall back down and we can initiate a short trade. On the other hand, if we look for support areas, they are levels where price moved into from above and then we turn higher again. So here in this area there's clearly some type of support, so we can see this stands out very well, and it also falls into this area. You can see here a little bit of an overreaction, but it's not too bad. So here we have a swing point here as well, and then here we have a very interesting pattern. You can see at this point we broke the level, we came back into it. If we adjust it for the highs, the lows here, then you can see we retested it. This is a flip zone where price uses the level previously as support. Now it is resistance like we saw here, and that is a flip zone, a very important pattern as well. And you can see how those concepts combine. Here you can also see another interesting flip pattern. You can see we have our level here. Let's mark it with a full line. Here we seem to have more or less like a zone at this point. We have some overreactions, but that's not a big problem. As I said, price is a very dynamic concept, and more often than not when you draw support and resistance you have multiple levels on top of each other. Like here you can see we have our support, then here another reaction again, here a little bit of a confluence or a reaction around that. We came back into it, have a very nice rally off of this level here. Then again here we just trade around a little bit, not much of a reaction. And now here, very interesting, price now uses this level as a very strong resistance. We come back into it here, we don't have enough power, we find new sellers, we drive price lower. Here again price moves into it, we sell off a little bit, we move into it deeper now and we sell off again. And you can see how we can use support and resistance and those flip zones very nicely in our trading. When we look deeper into price, we will also see that there are local structures where we just have individual swing highs and lows that we can use. You can see that here, very interesting. Let me mark that with a trend line, that is more obvious. You can see here we have a very short-term support area where price seems to have found some support here to the downside second time, and now when price comes back to it, there's a very high likelihood that we can find new buyers again, that price is not being able to break lower, and we can use that information. And if price breaks lower, then here is the second support area. You can see we have this swing low, and that started this rally, and so that is another very important pattern to have, another important level to have on your charts. And now when price moves lower into the levels, we can nicely estimate where it has a very high likelihood of turning around, and so we can use that with our other concepts and tools that we will learn in the later stages to form our trade ideas. Now when we look out, we can see that here seems to even be something like a zone. You can see that here is a lot of trading in that area. Let me mark that for you. You can see here we have some type of dip. Then here again a nice reaction. We can back into it 1 time, 2 times. If we adjust that to capture this high, you can see here another swing low. So we have 3 pushes into it. Every time we start a new rally, a short-term uptrend. Here a larger one. So that is an important area to have on your charts. And even more interesting, this drop here after this very long downtrend, it found support at this area right here at the previous swing point. Very nice level. So if price falls lower, we can probably expect with a very high likelihood that price is going to find support here at this point, and we can then look for long opportunities for buying trades if we combine our other tools and concepts. And that is one way of using support and resistance, and later on I will show you even more ways how we can use that concept to time our trades, to find very important price points where we can then look for trading opportunities at those areas. And I hope that explains what support and resistance is. In the next video we will get into supply and demand, which is similar, but it is a little bit different, and it helps us to deepen our knowledge about price analysis and the way price moves in a much stronger way. And so we can step by step then build our knowledge about Forex trading and then eventually conquer the markets. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.